What if I told you the biggest leak in Arcade1Up, nay, home arcade history, is from Randy's Record Shop? Well, this is an online retailer, obviously mostly records, but they sell other general merchandise, and it sounds like some electronics. They got their hands on the Arcade1Up complete catalog of products, and apparently somebody just uploaded that to this site. What's interesting about this is it gives us another resource to cross-reference these leaks. I've had people contact me over the past few days kind of skeptical. Hey, I don't know, are these leaks legitimate? Is this bogus? Look, we don't know. And we didn't know, and we still don't know. But this, in my opinion, is strong evidence that they are legit. They are certainly worth talking about at this point. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And if this is a big, gigantic troll job, then, well, hats off to whoever's orchestrating this and releasing stuff through Randy's Records. Now, I've been told Randy's Records previously leaked the Legacy stools, so they have a track record of being right. So that's all the context I have on this, but let's look and see if the arcades that have been leaked so far are going to be on this list. And this list is giving us pricing information, and it's giving us a tentative release date, although I do want to emphasize that release date is definitely subject to change. The pricing is subject to change. Even Arcade1Up themselves have previously told us how much stuff will cost publicly, like with pinball, and it changed. So please don't take this as gospel, but this is the most concrete information we've had yet. Let's go ahead and go through this list. Capcom Legacy stool, I believe that's been known about. Marvel versus Capcom head-to-head. Oh, that's new information, actually. So when I first skimmed this list, I didn't catch this one. So head-to-head is the Arcade1Up terminology for the cocktail cabinet. I've been a fan of that. I have the Capcom and the Miss Pac-Man cocktails. I love them. Light-up decks. So they've not done a light-up deck on cocktail cabinet. Not actually sure how that would work, where you would need to place the lights to diffuse through that plexi, but sounds like an interesting idea. And it looks like they're keeping it to that $500 price point, which is how much these have cost historically. I think that's cool. I think fighting games probably don't make as much sense for a cocktail cabinet as, say, Pac-Man or something like that, but it's more variety. It's another crack at the MVC egg. I'm not mad at that at all. Pong head-to-head. Presumably this is different than the Pong pub table, because that had a very specific name, Pong pub table. So I don't think that's what that is. $500. Man, if this website could get out of my way, that'd be real nice. $500 for that. I can't see a lot of people paying $500 for Pong, but I could be wrong. The pub table was different because it was kind of a nicer piece of furniture. I'm not sure that's true for a cocktail cabinet. The Arcade1Up Junior. So I posted a leak that some of us received last night, Paw Patrol, and it looks like it's probably real. It comes with a stool. I have seen a photo with a little tiny red stool that comes in front of it. $180 seems like a reasonable price for that. Kind of is what it is. Projectorcade. So I didn't report on this the other day, but there was a patent application that leaked for a projector arcade, and that's what we're looking at here. The price is $400. I have it on good authority. Arcade1Up's been working on this for a while. Couple quick thoughts. Number one, playing video games on a projector is definitively pretty cool, right? It's something we all, growing up, it was, if you knew anyone with a projector or they had one at school, you know, how many of us brought in Xboxes and played Halo on the big screen or whatever. I mean, it definitely is a thing. Projector screens aren't good for response rate, so you can get ghosting if it's a fast motion game, and especially low-end projectors. Whatever hardware this thing's running is not going to be your high-fidelity movie theater projector. So this isn't something that gets me excited, but I would not be surprised if this is a hit. This could be a hit, just the sheer novelty of having a projector. The devil's going to be in the details on this. Is the projector bright enough? How many nits is it throwing off? Basically, just are we getting the brightness that we need to see this in anything other than a pitch black room? And does it refresh quickly enough so we can play the game and keep track of everything on screen? You definitely wouldn't want to play a game like Pong on this, but maybe there are some other arcade games that might make sense. So curious to see what they bring with the Projectorcade. And it says with Pac-Man deck, so maybe there are multiple control decks that you can plug into the projector. Really not sure at this point. I can about guarantee you that is real. I mean, they filed the patent. So again, just further reiterating, to me at least, that this stuff is legit. Pac-Man Arcade1Up Junior. So this we saw in the lease. It's the same $180, although notably the Paw Patrol looked like it had a much smaller LCD screen and yet they're charged the same price. That's kind of weird. 24-inch Infinity game table. Looks like that'll be releasing to retail. Spider-Man Arcade1Up Junior. That's going to be that same $180 price point. 32-inch Infinity table, although it's labeled 32 foot. Maybe they meant for the Projector-cade. $800. I think we already knew about that price. To be honest, I've not followed the game table that closely. Disney Princess Arcade1Up Junior. That has leaked before, I believe. So looks like that's real, and it's going to be that same $180. Pac-Man head-to-head gaming table with the light-up deck. Maybe they're going to add a new games list. I don't know. I doubt they're going to convince me to get rid of my Miss Pac-Man table, but we'll see how cool the light-up deck is. Mortal Kombat Midway head-to-head. So, guys, they're doing a lot more of these cocktail tables, which I am a fan of. So that is good to see. I would like to see almost all of these games available in whatever format you want. Do you want a countercade? Do you want a 3/4 scale stand-up? Or do you want a cocktail? Because we all have different rooms and layouts. Miss Pac-Man head-to-head with light-up deck, great. I know how you guys feel now if you bought TMNT, which we'll get to that later. Killer Instinct. So here's where things get a little spicy. Killer Instinct is listed for $599. Honestly, that's about what I expected. It'll have Wi-Fi. I'm sure it'll have crap controls. I'll tell you this, for $600, I don't care how nice the license is. And Killer Instinct is a wonderful license, so big credit to Arcade1Up for winning that. I don't want to buy a $600 arcade and have to replace the controls. I really, really don't. I think, at least in my opinion, $500 is the ceiling of what I want to spend and not have to replace the controls. Now, I'm not telling you I'm not going to buy this. I do have a YouTube channel. I do review stuff. So I still might get this at $600. But man, they need to do the right thing. If they're charging this much, they need to put in better controls or they need to drop the price. That's at least my opinion. Simpsons. So getting back to that list of things that have leaked recently, looking more and more real. Simpsons 4-player, $599. Now that one's okay. I don't need great controls on a Simpson cabinet. And that did have a trackball. And it looked like from the leaked images that it's the same 3.5-inch trackball we get in Golden Tee, which I can tell you guys, that is a pretty nice trackball. They probably modeled it directly after the HAP trackball they were originally going to include, and then they went to a kind of a generic one that seems like they had made, or I don't know if they bought that off the shelf somewhere. But it's a good trackball. I don't have any complaints. If this is with that same quality of trackball, $600, Simpsons 4-player sold. I think that's a good price. X-Men 4-player with the light-up marquee, which presumably all of these have. Surely that's going to be the same $600, and it is. Which I think is okay for a 4-player cabinet. Pong 2-player countercade. I probably couldn't care less about that, but it's $180. NBA Jam 2-player countercade. This is exciting because not everyone has room for the big 4-player cabinets. They take up a lot of space. Having this in a countercade format with a light-up marquee is nice. And I think $180 is a good price point for that. And for those of you who play NBA Jam online, presumably this will be online too. And you will then have a bigger community of folks to play with. Everybody wins. Take a look at this. Mortal Kombat 2 countercade. Okay. I'd rather see a proper re-release of Mortal Kombat, but I'll take it. TMNT countercade. Nice. Marvel Superheroes countercade. Track and Field from Konami. So this one's interesting to me because I wouldn't have guessed Track and Field to be the kind of game that would get retailers really excited. But it's the kind of game I want to see. I hope we don't get to a place where all Arcade1Up will release is name brand stuff that kids see on TV. Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, all that stuff. Nothing wrong with it. Pac-Man, all of that. That stuff's awesome. But I think when we fill out our arcades, we want some of the other games too that maybe wouldn't be a big enough title for Arcade1Up to release. Track and Field seems to me like it would be in that category, but either way, they're working on a release. To me, that's good news. $500. Street Fighter Big Blue. Man, I'll tell you what. Of all the leaks, this was the one I doubted when I saw ToyKid post it. I didn't think for sure it was fake, but this was the one I had the least confidence in. There was just no information, at least to me, that I knew of as to where the leak came from or even what format it was in or what. It was just, well, this is online. Well, I never found it online, so I just didn't know if it was real where it came from. Well, it looks like it's real. It looks like ToyKid deserves a lot of credit for breaking that news. $500, which is not necessarily a bad price point. I don't know that I love the design. If you guys remember, the side panels were in a 2-part, plus it sat on top of a riser. The thing was very narrow and tall. I didn't think it was bad looking, but it had some room for improvement. And it was yet another arcade that didn't have a coin door. I really want to see a molded coin door on all of these arcades. So when we buy them and put them next to each other, they kind of look like they match in some way, even if each arcade is different. Next up, and just as exciting, is Tron. So this image leaked last night and looking like it's real at $500. I thought the arcade design that 1UP did looked pretty good, at least to my eye. Guys, I'm not a big Tron enthusiast. Growing up, I didn't have access to this game. I do have an arcade in my town that does have Tron, and I've played it a few times. It's not a game I ever really got into, but I love how the cabinet looks, so I'm very excited this is coming out. And I know a lot of you guys are passionate about Tron, so I'm glad you're going to get your chance at a crack at it. And I think $500 looks reasonable. It even looked from that image like there might be additional light-up components to the arcade, like maybe in the side panel or something. That would be cool if that's the case. And then Turtles in Time. Let's look at this. So this tells me they're re-releasing the TMNT cab, which did include Turtles in Time, but it wasn't skinned for that game. It was skinned for the original. So the Turtles in Time skin plus the light-up marquee would potentially be a good reason to revisit it. $600 though, there's no way I'd buy this for $600. $499 is probably a better price point. The original was $299, or no, I'm sorry. The original I think was $399, and then since it got put on sale, I know a lot of people got it at $299 or even less. $600 is going to be a tough sell for this, in my opinion. But still, more options are good. The Tempest stool. Let's see if we can find anything else out. Golden Axe coming back to retail. So John D said this before, that Golden Axe would be built again and sold. And it looks like the time for that is fall of this year. Guys, this arcade is amazing. If you get the chance to get Golden Tee this year, do it. Or sorry, Golden Axe. Too many Goldens. Very fun arcade. It's still one of my favorites. And lastly, the only other one I could find, a Miss Pac-Man countercade with light up marquee. I'm going to give you guys this link and put it below if you want to go through this list yourself. I did not see the Miss Pac-Man 40th. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it here. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Get excited. Presumably at this point, if this is being actually listed in retailer systems, these are actually a lot of the games we will get announced at E3. That is my assumption at this point, but let's wait and see. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Hey, consider hitting that join button to support the channel, and thanks so much for watching.
Dripping lights paint the sky.